Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. It's Kaghoe coming at you with another video. So today, I wanted to take the time to talk about a Phase 4 DPS tier list. Now, this is going to be obviously quite early because we have no idea what the runes are. We have no idea what class changes they are going to be doing. And we have pretty much no idea what we could see. Pretty much Blizzard could crank any of these classes all the way to the top, and we would just be left here clueless. Why I am making this video is to give you an early idea and, using some of my insight and my expertise at playing World of Warcraft to take a stab at what I think their plan is and where they're going with it. But before we get into the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Everything you guys do helps my channel grow, helps me get discovered, and helps me help as many people as possible, which is the entire point of my channel. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So with this tier list, there are a few things I want to go over before we dive into it. And so because they are taking their time to make Phase 4 take longer, it implies they're making a lot of changes. We already know that they're shaking up all the gear that we know of to be better than the level up dungeon gear, because some of those pieces are just better than what current 60 raid gear is in Molten Core. So they're doing a whole gear overhaul. We're getting new runes, and we are sort of seeing their philosophy take hold. Pretty much since the beginning, Agron has sort of hinted at wanting to shake it up, not making warriors best DPS or even mages on the caster side. And sort of that implies to me that they really are going to try to shake up the classic meta. So either all classes are very close to each other, or we are going to see classes that generally are not bad be at the that are generally bad be at the top. And so I think that is going to take a really cool form, and we might not know what it'll look like. So this is my guess at that. They've mentioned even more things, sort of like rage normalization, the axe specialization stuff, and I really think warriors are in for a rude awakening when Phase 4 comes. But let's switch it over here to the tier list, and I'm going to show you what I think and why. So Shaman is going to be S tier. Whether it's elemental or enhancement, I don't really know, but Shaman has just dominated Season of Discovery, and in classic Shamans we're essentially just totem bots and there to be in every group to give every group their buffs. But now they're shining, being one of the top DPS, and they're able to really just crank. And on Horde, with Druids having Wind Fury and that edgy totem, Shamans are going to be desired literally just for all the buffs, and they're going to pump damage, which is something we have not seen in Classic WoW. So I'm ranking Shaman all the way at the top. I think they will be really phenomenal. If you play a Shaman, you're not going to go wrong with that, and you're going to be desired in every raid group, despite whatever numbers it ends up putting out. S tier, I'm going to put Warlock up here. They have added a ton of stuff to Warlock. The numbers and tweaking just hasn't been there to make it truly shine and be at the tippy top of the sort of caster DPS, but the core mechanics are in there, and with the extended time, the stuff they have, I think Warlocks are finally going to dethrone mages as the king caster of Classic. And as a mage main myself, I don't like to admit that very easily. So I truly think that all the pieces are coming together. Warlocks are really going to get the stuff. They know what they need from Wrath and Kata to really make them pump. And so I think we're really going to start to see Warlocks take that #1 caster slot. And those are going to be the best two classes that I can think of. Next, I'm going to put Hunter in A tier. I thought about Hunter a lot, whether it be A or S tier, being one of the pure DPS classes other than Warlock and Rogue. And so Hunter just, it has had so many nerfs. Like, it has been the top DPS in Phase 1, 2, and 3, and then they take it all the way down. Whether it is going to be melee hunter, or a ranged hunter, or some trap launching survival sniper hunter, I don't know exactly what spec it'll be, but hunters are going to pump, and I just don't think they're going to have them at top, because they've been top, and they have been hammered down time after time after time. So it'd be really interesting to see where they're going to put Hunter. Now, Priest for Shadow, because I think Warlock is going to be so great, you are going to need a Shadow Priest in your raid for that 15% shadow damage debuff that they put up. And so I think a Shadow Priest will be sought after, and Shadow Priest is putting in good numbers. Once again, I think it falls under that meme and dream category where like they sort like you needed one for that debuff because you had a bunch of warlocks, but after that they really didn't do any damage, and most raiders didn't really care what they did. They just wanted them in their raid for that debuff slot. But now they're going to be doing a lot more damage, and they're going to be bringing that debuff, and I think having a Shadow Priest will be a really fun class, and it'll put up good numbers as well as help warlocks out. Next, we have Druid. Whether it is going to be Feral or Boomkin, I don't know. But Boomkin gives that 3% crit buff, and Feral gives it with Leader of the Pack, as well as Feral Druids give Wind Fury. So you could almost put Feral Druid in S tier, because you could play a Feral Druid fully naked in raid, and they would take you because of that Wind Fury buff, especially on Alliance. Horde wants it because then Shamans can drop Agility Totem, more or less over that, but Druid Feral could be S tier just for how badly it is desired and how much damage it's going to pump out, because they are pumping some serious DPS most of the phases. Whether or not the power shifting meta takes over, we'll have to see. It just depends on sort of what Blizzard decides to do with that, but Druid will be a very solid class that will do some very solid DPS. And as you can see, these are the sort of meme to dream classes where I think that they're really going to shine. Then we have pretty much our three heroes here from Classic. Warrior, I'm putting at B tier. They've just talked about the weapon racial passives. They have talked about warriors not being the king. While they are very high up right now and they are absolutely blasting, Agron talks about rage normalization, which I think will absolutely gimp the class. It'll make it a whole lot less RNG and a whole lot less fun, but you know, you'll have a standard amount of damage. Is probably one of the only ways to do that, unless they like give them a rune that turns their resource bar into mana or something ridiculous like that. That'd be very interesting. But I think warriors, while yes, I know why they're good, just everything that the devs are talking about makes me think that they're going to try very hard to make them not be the king of Classic that they are, especially as the phases go on. Then a Rogue is usually competitive with Warrior, right behind it till you get to about AQ and Max. I think Rogues will have a decent performance, but a lot of their runes just aren't it. Like, you just kind of like put on poisons and you do poison damage, but they're not really interactive or fun. People don't really like to play that way. Their stuff's like, they might make tanking really good, but this is sort of a DPS list. I don't really see Rogues really taking the trophy here at all. They're just kind of meh, and I don't think that their damage numbers are going to be there to sort of reflect any type of meaningful damage to take them as a pure DPS when you have so many other options that bring a lot of utility to the raid, like a Shadow Priest or Druid. And I think Hunters are just going to smoke Rogues like they have all of Season of Discovery. Then this pains me a lot, but I think Mages are going to be B tier. Right now they're in the middle of the road. They just kind of cast Frostfire Bolt. Is pretty basic and boring. Not that it really gets too exciting. The only thing that gets exciting is like AQ and Fire, rolling Ignite, but that requires having a bunch of other mages and people that pay attention and really try to make the Ignite roll. Without that, it's just going to be cast Fireball, cast Frostbolt, cast Frostfire Bolt here in Sod. And I just don't think they're going to give mages the big damage stuff that we see in sort of Wrath and Cataclysm that are going to really make them super shine. Just the gear isn't there. I guess we'll see when they retweak all of the spell power gear where mages are going to sit in Sunken Temple here in a week or two. But it's just going to be something that I, as a mage main even here in Classic, I don't even, like, it hurts me to put them at B tier, but I just don't see them ascending to that level, especially with everything they have said and what they're talking about. Then finally, Rep Pallies, I'm putting them at C tier. Every single news update, patch note, everything I have seen, they just can't seem to get Rep Paladin right. They're pretty mid tier or at the bottom for most of Season of Discovery. They would take sort of almost an entire class rework or extensive changes to make them really good or compete with Rogues or Warriors in that melee slot. While paladins do bring all the buffs. That would be the use of them, but I think you're going to see a holy paladin take that cake, or even a protection paladin for those buff slots on Alliance, other than a ret pally, unfortunately. But I could be very wrong. I am a horde player here. All you Alliance players, let me know where you feel like ret could land. I'm just going off of patch notes and what I've seen, and just shamans are. I see so many complaints to shamans being the unique sort of hero class and classic for the horde. Being so high above paladins and just outclassing them on every level. That's a common thing you guys like to say in the comments. But anyway, guys, that is sort of my tier list for Season of Discovery Phase 4. I know it's early. I know we have a lot of information that just isn't there, but I figured I'd have a little fun with it and sort of see where it lands. I'll definitely revisit this video in Phase 4 after probably a month of rating and stuff, just to see how I did, where I went wrong, my assumptions. But this is purely just, hypotheticals, and I figured I'd have a little fun. I haven't done a tier list in a while, so I figured I'd give you some Phase 4 hype, and, maybe we'll see how well I did. But definitely respectfully, if you disagree, definitely let me know. But make sure, keyword respectfully, if you start insulting me or anything like that, I'm going to delete your comment. I don't really care for that. But if you like it, let me know as well. I look forward to seeing what you all say. And in the meantime, I hope you have a great day and enjoy playing whatever WoW you are doing. Bye-bye.
If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. It truly means a lot to me. If you happen to find anyone that you know would also benefit from watching this video, please share it with them. It helps me out a ton and allows me to keep doing what I love every single day, and that is gaming and sort of helping people any way that I can. So finally, thank you so much, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Goodbye.